that lets you save. Look here.
True Form Life.
I couldn't believe the decisions that were being made, like many people. But there's a whole lot of the world that appreciates the decisions that are being made. So that's the whole polarization thing.
Welcome to Exploring Mind and Body with Drew Taddia. Drew is an expert in nutrition, fitness, lifestyle, and more. And he wants to help you live a healthier, longer, and more active life. Now here's your host, Drew Taddia.
Welcome to another edition of nationally syndicated Exploring Mind and Body. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for tuning in, for being a part of our True Form Life community. We're coming at you with a brand new show. We appreciate whether you're listening on terrestrial radio across the country or as a podcast around the world. We certainly wouldn't be here without you. So stick around. We got all that coming up.
This is Exploring Mind and Body. Naturally improve your lifestyle one show at a time with your host, Drew Taddia.
Good morning, everyone. It's tough, politics is tough. I dislike talking about politics. It's so polarizing. You have this one belief system, and then you have another belief system, and the two clash. And it's really difficult to have those conversations. We know what it's like over the last 3 years. Friends and family have been divided, and probably still are. Maybe trying to get back together. Anyways, politics. So we'll get to that. We got to talk about it, right? We have to talk about it. What's happening with natural health. That's our business. It's who we are. It's what we do. And that's being threatened. They're threatening to take that away, and it's absolutely mind-boggling to me and to many others. But over this last little bit, last few years, they've been making a whole lot of decisions for us. And I feel like we should, as grown adults, we should be making our own decisions, especially for our health. And it's so crazy to me to think that is continually being threatened. And you have to look at the country. We have talked about moving away. We spend many of you know we spend a lot of time before our little guy, we were spending half the year in LA. So of course it's been on our mind before to leave the country. Not being forced out, but now what do you do? Morning, Rose. When you have we've worked hard. We've worked incredibly hard for 12 years. We've worked towards being a single family income. We've made that happen. Dorothy's at home full time with our little guy. No plans of leaving. And to have that taken away, in the blink of an eye, it's a very real possibility. We see censorship is a real thing. We see a whole lot of other political things, possibly in libraries and other areas that we will not participate in. And things just seem to be getting worse, unfortunately. And I know not everyone shares this opinion, but it's my opinion, and I'm okay sharing it. We do have people that agree with us and people that don't agree with us, and there's really nothing that we can do. That's just life, and that's how it goes. But I feel like people should be aware of what's happening. It's not just as far as I'm not a politician, I'm not a lawyer. I've done some research. I've made some phone calls, and I've talked to as many people as I can that's in the industry, and everyone's kind of up in arms with a lot of political decisions that's happening more recently. But what do you do? I have no idea, to be honest with you. I don't know what you do. A friend recommended or suggested possibly partnering with pharmacy. I don't know how possible that is. Probably a very small chance of that. Someone talked about, I got some videos sent in that said setting up a trust, but you got to talk to a lawyer about that. But people should know that it's not the whole industry is being threatened. So your natural supplements, that's not just supplements. That's natural deodorants, natural toothpaste. It's the whole natural world is being attacked in a very serious way, and that's how we live. I feel like that's how we were raised before we got to the stage of everyone on pharmaceuticals. And I'm not against pharmaceuticals. I'm not against doctors, but Like we need them. We need them in our society. There's room for both. And from what I understand, they're saying that there's not room for both. And the only thing I can guess is like the only common sense that I can make of it is the natural health industry is $1 billion business. And the pharmaceutical companies are like, no, we're not having it. And with all their money, they can influence pretty much anyone they want. And so they want to take away, and over the last more and more people are moving towards natural supplements. It's just how it is. There's a lack of trust because of what was forced. And over the last few years, there's a lack of trust with Western medicine. And more people are going to natural supplements. And they're like, no, we can't have that. We're losing money. They're sharing they're sharing the pie with the natural health industry, and they don't want to do it. And then they have the influence over politicians to make these decisions that, to most of us, as far as I understand, and that's the world I live in. I mean, I'm sure there's a good part of, I don't know, the country, the province, that think this is a good idea. I don't know. Like they talk about government overreach and they talk about doing too much. Like I feel like we should have a choice. That's my opinion. Like I feel like we should be able to have those decisions for ourselves. And I don't know. Like I don't know. Like what the whole mindset is. Like we're not responsible enough. Like we're not responsible enough to make our own decisions whether we want fluoride toothpaste or not fluoride toothpaste, right? Or if we want a natural supplement or a pharmaceutical. Like, is that what they're saying? And the thing is like they're not going to remove it completely. They're just going to put more stringent regulations. So to bring a product to market, it's going to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. And they're like the labeling is going to be more challenging. To bring a product to market, it's going to and there's going to be less of them, so there'll be less competition, so they can put the price at whatever they want. So the price is going to go up. And then you can look at like we need naturopathic doctors. They're incredible. And we need physicians, right? They both can be in the same space. But their profession likely be wiped out with this decision. Health food stores, like what's going to happen to Whole Foods? I don't think they're going to do anything. Like Amazon owns Whole Foods, right? And Amazon's $1 billion company. Amazon might be $1 trillion company. They have too much money to wipe them out. But all the small ones, like you can look at massage therapists, chiropractors, anyone that uses supplemental income by selling products to make ends meet, gone. So I have a really hard time trying to rationalize the whole thought process of what's going on. Yeah, that's the thing is like what do you do? Like, I don't know what to do, to be honest. I'm just coming on here having a conversation. I've written our MP who basically said, everyone's like, write your MP. So I called and wrote, and they got back to me and said they tried to do everything they could and basically can't do anything. So like, what do we do? You know what I mean? Like we can't do anything. I don't know. I'm saying like, I feel like all action is better than no action. Any action is better than, and everyone should be writing their MP that disagrees with this conversation or this idea. Jenny actually posted our, let me have a look here. She posted this guy's video went absolutely viral. I think it's got millions of views. It's Jonathan Harvey. Never heard of him before. But it's super interesting conversation. At any rate, Jenny went and did some research, and she found that Canada's health minister, Honorable Jean Vise, that's horrible. I'm just going to leave that one alone. And there's a telephone number here and an email. So I'll do both. I'll call and I'll email. And can you hear Harrison? Dorothy? Not sure what's going on out there. Having a little bit of temper tantrum. At any rate, so we could call and we could email if we don't like the conversation. But what do you like? You're going to turn, like they would turn people like me into a criminal, because I'm probably not going to stop selling products, right? Like that. Every day someone writes into us and they say, "Thank you for this, changed my life." It could be magnesium. It could be our advice around standard of lifestyle. It could be activated charcoal, or supplements make a huge difference for sure. Of course, that's not all we do, but that's a good percentage of what we do. So they're going to turn holistic practitioners into criminals if they keep offering natural supplements, right? But the thing is, like, we have things like, but the thing is, what they're going to do is stop allowing stuff into the country, right? So I'm like, okay, well, let's just move. Like, we'll just move somewhere else. That's not that big a deal, I don't think. We'll see. But a lot of our customer base is here, so we're not going to be able to ship into the country, right? So we're basically starting all over. So yeah, I'm a bit lost for words. I have no idea what you would do. Complete, like, the whole common sense end of it, of how many jobs will be wiped out. And then they said that, okay, doctors are going to be like, it's not, then some people are like, well, they're not going to wipe everything away. You're still going to be able to access them, but doctors or maybe pharmacists are going to be able to recommend these products or prescribe them. And I'm like, okay, like, I'm a doctor fan. We need doctors. We need more doctors. Actually, we don't have enough. But the problem is that doctors aren't schooled in nutrition or nutraceuticals. They don't know. Ask your doctor. I went in and asked a pharmacist about magnesium. They don't know about it because they are trained in pharmaceuticals. That's what they do. So you're going to have to change their whole schooling so they can properly recommend. I mean, in my opinion, they probably shouldn't be recommending nutrition anyways. Monogenic, like, they probably shouldn't be recommending nutrition having such little experience with it. And that's just my opinion. And then to recommend natural supplements, like, it's so out of their realm. That's like me recommending pharmaceuticals. I don't know about them, but doctors don't know about. So if you take that away from the people and say, here you go, doctors, we already don't have enough time. I think there was some crazy statistic. It was like seconds. Like, most people that go and visit their doctor, they're getting like 90 seconds or whatever, 180 seconds of their time. It's like a few minutes. Hey, how you doing? Okay, you're not feeling well? Here's some pills. See you later. And that's because we're so overwhelmed. Like, our medical system is so overwhelmed. We saw what we went through over the last few years of not having enough room in hospitals. And what's going to happen if natural supplements don't work? Of course they work. But we're going to put a stranglehold on them, and we're going to funnel that into just prescription. Like, you can only get them through prescription, right? So you have to see a doctor to live healthier. Like, it would make, to me, it's the opposite. If we had more, and already, like, Canada's already one of the most regulated countries around natural supplements. But what you're doing is you're going to reduce the health of your citizens because you're not able to afford or find or receive proper natural supplements. So our health is going to decline. We're going to be more reliant on the medical system, which is already maxed out, including our doctors and nurses. And then what do we do? To me, it would be the opposite. Let's find a way to get more natural supplements. Natural supplements, in my opinion, should be subsidized by the government. Why don't we make them cheaper, just like we make pharmaceuticals cheaper? Because there isn't a giant big pharma backing that decision, right? That's the only thing I can think of. I don't know. I know a lot of people. I don't think we have any comments. I don't think we have many comments. It's one of those topics like COVID. Like, people don't want to talk about it, right? Because it's polarizing. And I think that's a problem. I think the less people that, it'd be nice to have a conversation around this and hear other people's opinions. We did have a number of people comment in my previous post, not on this live, but in the last couple of days. Morning, Andy. I've commented, and it's nice to hear opinions. Like, I don't love the let's attack the other side or let's attack politicians. Like, that, I don't think that's beneficial. Like, it's not productive. Like, I feel like we need some clear answers to make a change. And I don't, maybe, and if that's voting someone else in, probably. If that's voting, I mean, obviously we have to make changes, but the clear overreach that's continually happening and getting worse and worse. Like, we all grew up on natural supplements. Like, our natural supplements are like a natural way of life. Like, our grandparents, or at the very least our grandparents. That's how we became healthy. And now, like I said, we need pharmaceuticals, but with so many people on medication, our health is declining and our quality of life is going down. And natural supplements can help with that. And they work together. They can aid and they can lift each other up instead of this giant competition of no pharmaceuticals or no natural supplements. You can find a happy medium. Like, I would prefer to work off or work away from pharmaceuticals, and that everyone has a different opinion on that. Some people swear by them, and that's fine. And I just think, like, we have to understand side effects, and we have to understand ingredients, and we're looking at long-term health and long-term solutions. And a lot of times it's just like, what's going to fix this pain right now? And that's okay. But the problem is that most people aren't going to speak up. Most people don't even want to have this conversation. You can see people are jumping in on this live and then leaving. You can see there's not many people talking about it. And that's okay. I'm not saying that you have to. I'm just saying that I feel like that's a problem. Like, we just push things under the rug. We don't want to talk about it because we don't want to offend anyone. That's a Canadian way. And then we just think things are going to be fixed. And they're not. Like, things aren't going to be fixed. And if, like, this is not on the news, certainly not on the news, right? It's not something that people are openly talking about on a regular basis. Very little social media talk about it. But so many people are going to be affected. Like, it's not just supplement owners or supplement companies. It's those that trickle down the line, like our distributors that make money on the side. They're not going to be able to make money on the side again, or get their products for cheaper because we sell wholesale, and they can get natural supplements for cheaper, right? If you look at all those MLM, is that what you call it? You know, those little multi-level companies, everyone sells them now, right? There's dozens and dozens of them, and people are able to make money on the side. Or like with the cost of living now in Canada, with the interest rates going up, I know people that had to move out of their homes and move to a different area or downsize because they couldn't afford their mortgage. Or the homeowners that were renting out, they had to increase their rent because the mortgage interest rates went up and their mortgage went up. And now those people had to move out, and they don't have a place to live right now. And the people that are in the homeless people, like, I grew up in Calgary, there was very few homeless people. Now it's bombarded. Like, there's homeless people everywhere. And to think about how many people are going to lose their jobs or lose their supplemental income from, like, selling collagen products, or, you know, whatever it is. You see them pop up every day on social media. If that's going to be wiped out completely, like, how many people are using that to supplement their income to be able to put groceries on their table or food in their bellies, right? Like, it's absolutely mind-boggling what's behind that decision. And like I said, the only thing I can think of is Big Pharma putting pressure on politicians to make that decision. And again, it's not like the news is talking about it. It was just kind of slipped in there, and a few people were like, hey, and they went on social media, and more people were like, hey. And if we don't talk about these things, if we just quietly hide in the corner, there's gonna be no change. And it's hard enough to make change when you're loud and you talk about it. And I don't know what the answer is. Like I told you, I don't know what the answer is. Like, write your MP, call your health minister. We can, at the very least, we can do that. Will that make a change? I don't know, but I can tell you that's better than doing nothing. I don't know. I'm not one of those. Like, I usually mind my own business, to be honest with you. Like, we stay in our lane, we focus, and we do our own thing. Like, that's who we are, and it's what we do. I don't think it makes anyone feel good when you're like, hey, you're not speaking up loud enough. Like, I don't really care about all that. But if you want to see a change, like, obviously these things are happening for a reason. And when these things kind of happen behind the scenes, like, why isn't, like, this is a huge decision for our entire country. Why isn't that on media? Like, on mainstream media, most people don't think about that. They're like, oh, you want to talk about who got murdered or who got shot the other day, whose house burned down, but they don't want to talk about something like this that affects everyone's overall health. And then, of course, they spin it like this is a good thing, right? Like, oh, we're making more stricter rules so we can protect our citizens. But I have a really hard time with that when that same governing body is allowing endless. You can put sucralose or aspartame. You can put titanium dioxide. You can put maltodextrin. You can put all these really low quality ingredients in supplements or products in general, and that's okay. But if you want to bring 100% natural product, 100% natural product, that's going to be eliminated, right? Like, it's crazy. It doesn't make any sense at all. And that's the thing, is like, a lot of the decisions made as of recently hasn't really made any sense. But you have a whole population voting for that, right? Or at least not voting for that. But you have a whole, I don't know, like, and then you get into all the conspiracy stuff, right? Like, but you got to have a good, like, we know portions of the country are 100% for the government that's making these decisions, right? And I don't even know if someone else comes in there, they're going to make different decisions. Like if a conservative person gets in there, they're going to make different decisions. I don't know. Like, we don't know. Like, that stuff, I feel like that stuff is bought and paid for weeks or years in advance, right? Like, I don't want to talk about politics really, but I mean, I guess that's where we're at. That's where we're at. And that's like, I just feel like it's hard. Like, how do you not take it personal, right? Like, oh, it's not personal, it's just business, or it's just politics. It's not it's personal because I'm a person and I'm directly being affected by that. And so is our family. Like, this is our livelihood. This is our family. We have worked towards improving people's lives for the last 12 years. And we're not all about supplements. We do that through our fitness programs. We do that through coaching. We do that through free recipes, radio shows, podcasts. Most of our stuff is free. Of course, we have supplements and we have our fitness programs that are for sale, but we have to pay our bills too, right? But it's a direct attack on the whole industry and everyone that's trying to work towards helping people live a healthier lifestyle. And that isn't just those of us that sell the products, it's those that take the products. Every single one of you that have benefited from natural products should be upset. And you probably should say something. But that's the problem, is like not enough people will say something, so there won't be enough movement to make a change. And it can be anything. Like, it could be calling. I was calling our mayor every week because she wouldn't answer me. And when I call the town and I ask questions, they don't have answers, so I just keep asking. And I'm not angry. I'm not confrontational. I'm not condescending. I just ask questions. And there's the same thing when I called the MP. I called Nathan Cooper's office. He never takes my calls. Never. I've called him a dozen times over this last few years. Never answers me. And then he got voted in, which is fine. I don't know who would have been better, but I just think it's interesting. Like, you have someone that cares very little about the population, that they won't take a phone call from someone that is a voter. So that's how they would have gotten their job, right? But I feel like you got to do, like, we have those little flyers that you're putting out in your orders. Like, you can write on that and send it in, like, sign it, tell them you're not happy with what's going on, and send it in. How many people are going to do that? Probably a very small percentage of people. Even if you have the opportunity, right? Because you don't want to ruffle feathers. We don't want any confrontation. I'm not here to say that you need to speak up. I'm just saying, if you want change, things are never going to change unless we say something or have different actions, right? So I'm going to wrap things up here. I honestly, like I said many times in this conversation, I don't know what the answer is. It doesn't seem like whatever's happening now is going in the right direction. And what will change that, I'm not sure. But at the very least, I want to raise awareness around what's going on. Like, we should know what the government is trying to do, at least for this bill. Because a lot of people have, like, oh, I had no idea what's going on. There's a reason you had no idea what's going on. It's our business. That's why we know. But there's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes, under the table. They slide these things in. Media isn't going to talk about it. So we have to have these conversations on social media. We have to have these conversations with our friends, family. Let everyone know what's going on. So when the time comes, like, maybe there'll be a vote for this. And if you don't know what's happening, you're not going to know which way to go. Like, oh, Bill 47, what's that? Like, that's just an easy way to say a number and a letter that nobody knows about, right? But that's how they named them, right? They probably named them without a word title for a reason, right? I don't know. I'm not a politician. I'm not a political person. I've only started paying attention to politics over these last few years because I couldn't believe the decisions that were being made, like many people. But there's a whole lot of the world that appreciates the decisions that are being made. So that's the whole polarization thing of, and I don't care what political party you are. I don't even care what your opinion is, to be honest with you. We can still be friends, and we can still sell you supplements if you want. Maybe you don't want to after this conversation. We can still have conversations. We can still have tea. We can still have lunch. Like, I'm not one of those people that are like, you're on that side, I don't want you in my life. Like, I've never said, if you believe this, unfollow me. You know, I don't care. I want to have my opinion, and I want you to have your opinion. And if they don't match, fine. We can still be human beings living in a world together. But not everyone feels that way. And this is my opinion. This is what we believe in. And I'll never stop sharing in my opinion, as long as we're allowed to in this country. I'm not going to stop telling the truth, at least my truth, and what I believe. And I think if more people told the truth, we'd all be in a better position in this world. But I'm going to leave you with that. So hopefully that was helpful in some way or another. Hopefully something changes. My gosh, what a country this would be. I could not even imagine how many more homeless people, or how many people wouldn't be able to pay their bills, or the health of the taking away natural supplements and not being able to afford them or access them. How many people's health would drastically decline? I don't even want to picture that. So hopefully something changes. Hopefully someone up there has a brain and can make some better decisions for us. We got to keep talking about it. And it's unfortunate because I know I'm going to turn people away having these conversations, but I have to be okay with that, because this is who we are and what we do. And it's, like I said, someone coming in and trying to take everything away from you, everything that you worked for most of your life, is a crazy place to be. It really is. Like, it makes you really consider how much freedom you have. Like, how much freedom do we have if someone comes in and tells you have to do this to keep your job? How much freedom do we have if some governing body can say you are no longer allowed to feed your family in this manner? Like, it's mind-boggling, and doesn't really seem that Canadian to me. But the other side, sometimes some people, I'm sure, are like, yeah, let's do that. We need more regulation. I don't know. I'm just thinking, like, most people don't want to break the rules, right? So if something happens like in the wrong way, and we keep selling our products, which I probably would anyways. Like, most people don't want to break the rules, right? So we probably still wouldn't be enough people wouldn't come to us. Like, I'll give you my phone. I've shared my personal phone number many times. We consider our clients our friends. Like, we talk to a lot of you guys every day. So you could message us and we'll hook you up. Now our natural supplements become illegal drugs, right? But then how many people don't want to break the rules? And we've thought about many different scenarios. I don't think most people have been in a place, well, I guess besides the last 3 years, we haven't been in a place where your job could be taken away unless you do what they say. And this is a very similar situation for us. If this goes through, if we don't do what we say, we'll lose our job. What do? We got to start all over. And if I'm going to start all over, it's not going to be in this country. I'll tell you that much. At any rate, thank you so much for hanging out with me here. Spread the word. Don't be afraid to talk about it. I don't think we should be. I think it's a scary world when we're afraid to share our opinions.
True Form Life.
All right, that's going to wrap things up for this edition of Exploring Mind and Body. Once again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for tuning in and being a part of our True Form Life community. You can always find us on Facebook.com/TrueFormLife. We post up there a couple times a day on our story. We're always trying to bring you more content around living a healthy lifestyle, whether that be nutrition, fitness, lifestyle, and more. We also have free challenges that we do at least once a month. So if you follow us along there, you'll be able to join maybe a plank challenge or a squat challenge, Tabata challenge, whatever it may be. We'd love to have you join us. We're also on Instagram.com/Drew Taddia. Again, we're posting up there a couple times a day along with our story, all dedicated to keeping you fit and healthy and on track. Our main website is trueformlife.com. If you want to check out some of our products, some of our services, or if you just want some great content from videos to blog posts and recipes and more, we got all that at trueformlife.com. Once again, thank you so much for being here. That's it. That's all I got. I'm out of here. As always, I'm your host, Drew Taddia, in health and fitness for a better world. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to Exploring Mind and Body with Trueform Life's Drew Taddia, fitness expert. To find out more about the show, Drew Taddia, or to listen to past shows, visit exploringmindandbody.com.